Welcome to the Statue of Hope in the Bancroft Library. While the Drapers were in Rome, Mrs. Draper, who was acquainted with the eminent sculptor Waldo Story, took his advice and had him design a fountain surmounted by a Statue of Hope. Finally, after a 2-year delay, the statue was placed next to the Bancroft Memorial Library. On November 12, 1904, General William Draper and his daughter Margaret presented the fountain as a gift from Mrs. Susan Preston Draper to the Chairman of Selectmen, Mr. Edwin H. Darling, on behalf of the town of Hopedale. At one time, there were 2 glass tumblers placed on either side of the fountain, which were used for drinking. Dogs would drink out of the lower bowl. When Massachusetts passed a law forbidding public drinking cups, the tumblers were removed. Paper cups were substituted, but this idea eventually failed and was abandoned. The figure of Hope, with her head slightly inclined, seems to be making sure that the cornucopias are full of spilling over with plenty of for the town of Hopedale. Also making up this fountain are festoons of wheat, fruit, and acorns. The dolphin, Medusa, and especially the magnificent eagles make up the rest of this marvelous work. Even though the fountain is not used, it still has the distinction that no other town has of comparable sign. The sculptor of the fountain, Waldo Story, and the fountain was made by Carrara marble, quarried in Italy. The first public library, called the Hopedale Community Library, was started in 1842 with only 50 books. In 1886, there were frequent inquiries by the residents concerning the addition of a reading room or expansion of the library. There was no suitable place for the library until Mr. George Draper offered to the trustees, rent-free, the rooms formerly occupied by the post office. Through the generosity of Mr. George Draper, who gave the town hall to Hopedale, the library received a portion of the building to be used by the residents. After being occupied at the town hall for more than 13 years, the library is moved to the new and present home, the Bancroft Memorial Library. The building was a gift given by Mr. Joseph B. Bancroft in memory of his wife, Mrs. Sylvia W. Thwang Bancroft. On December 14th at 2 o'clock, a dedication was held, to which the public was invited to attend, and the new library was officially opened. The library is a replica of Merton College Chapel at Oxford. The design of the building is that of Old English architecture. The designer of the building was Mr. C. Howard Walker from Boston. The first librarian of the building was Miss Anna Bancroft, daughter of the donor. Another interesting note is that at this time, patrons of the library were allowed to take out 2 books at a time instead of 1, which had previously been the rule.